question everyone's wondering, will these screenings actually work? Is there the potential to change the travel landscape? We're going to bring in CNN aviation analyst and former Inspector General for the Department of Transportation, Mary Schiavo. And Mary, these new screenings would not have detected Thomas Eric Duncan's illness. He didn't have any symptoms. You have called these window dressing. How come?
Well, because we're doing a very wide search for a very small number of people. We have to get the numbers in perspective here. We're talking about approximately 150 travelers a day. So the U.S. has not been willing to simply ban travel to and from the Ebola-affected countries. So instead, we've done this screening. The screening couldn't have picked up the poor deceased gentleman, Mr. Duncan. And if you're not showing a temperature, and if you don't answer all of the questions that you are asked, literally the CDC, after their screenings, will allow people to go. So it does have the potential to catch and red flag some potential problems or some people who are sick, and that part is very good. We must do something. We simply can't leave the public health to the discretion of people taking temperatures in Africa. We have to do something here, but I do think it would have been more effective to stop the travel of these 150 people. That's the number that would have been inconvenienced.
You know, it's interesting because there was a one-day strike by workers at LaGuardia Airport, and they effectively said, look, you know, there are inadequate precautions. How do we know how we're supposed to clean? How do we know what we're supposed to do? Do you think that there should be a new emphasis on how you, for all intents and purposes, decontaminate a plane, whether it be in the bathroom, whether it be in public areas where a lot of people touch things?
Yes, you know, the CDC about 3 weeks ago issued guidelines as to how to clean a plane, which is very interesting because the CDC doesn't have any experience in cleaning planes. And they said things like bleaching. Well, for example, you can't very well bleach airplane carpeting or seats. And then, by the way, they're forgetting that the whole thing with airline travel is that you get people off the plane, you race through the plane. The cleaners don't have very long to clean the planes, and they try to get that plane tossed out, back out there on its route again, and sometimes as little as a half an hour. So you don't really have time. By the time the last person's off the plane, long before the screening by the CDC is done, those cleaners are supposed to be on the plane, and they certainly have a right to be concerned. And, you know, we really need to take them into consideration because I've often said a plane is like a small flying city. It's not just the pilot, the flight attendants, and the passengers. It's the cleaners and the caterers and the people who empty the bathrooms and who supply the water, and there's just a city around each plane.
And you also have to wonder, you know, what happens if somebody does test positive for a fever and that plane is already up in the air? What do? All right, lots of questions. Mary Schiavo, we're going to be coming back to you a little later on. Thank you so much. And still ahead, a rally in St. Louis today is